Hello everyone, welcome to Ritu Siri Educate. Today in this session we are going to discuss about the digestive system. Digestive system. First we need to know that what is the digestive system. Okay, the system in which where the process of digestion and absorption and assimilation takes place. Such type of system we call it as digestive system. The system in which where the process of digestion, absorption and assimilation takes place. Such type of system we call it as digestive system. Okay, first here we are saying that the process of digestion, absorption and assimilation. What is digestion and what is absorption and what is assimilation? Okay, first let us start with the digestion. Here the digestion is nothing but if you take any organism, if you take human being, okay, to do some kind of work, what is required to them? Energy is required to them to do any kind of work. So from where they are getting this energy? By consuming the food. By consuming the food only they are getting the energy. Generally the food consumed by organism, food consumed by any human beings, generally the food consists of carbohydrates, proteins. Food consists of all these nutrients, proteins and lipids. Lipids are otherwise known as fats. And nucleic acid. The food consists of all these things, nucleic acids. And also they consist of water, minerals, and also they consist of vitamins. The food consumed by human being, they consist of all these things. They consist of carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, water, minerals and vitamins. Okay, among all these components, here the carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and nucleic acids are the very large molecules. They are the very complex molecules, means very large molecules. So, as they are taking the food, they cannot observe here the carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and nucleic acids, they cannot absorb directly by the body cells. So as they are present in the complex, they need to be converted into the simple forms. Okay, as they are converted into the simple forms, then it can absorb directly by the body cells and the cells will be utilizing it and it is producing the energy. Hence this energy is utilized by organism. To do any kind of work, they will be using this energy. So this energy is also used for growth and development of organism also. So energy is very important. They require the energy. How they will be getting the energy means by consuming the food. The food consists of carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, water, minerals and vitamins. Among all these components, you can see that here the carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and nucleic acid. All these are the complex molecules. Means very large molecules. They are present in very large size. So they need to be converted into the simple form. These carbohydrates, these complex forms of molecules, we call them as macromolecules. Macromolecules. So remaining all this water, minerals and vitamins, they are the simple form of food materials. So there is no need to digest them. There is no need to break down into the simple forms as they are present in the simple form only. So they can absorb directly by our body cells. Body cells can absorb directly. So this type of simple molecules we call them as micromolecules. Micromolecules. So here as they are present in the large size, macromolecules, they need to be converted into the simple form. Here the conversion of complex form of food materials into the simple form, we call it as, this process we call it as digestion. Digestion is nothing but it is the breakdown of or the conversion of complex food materials into the simple forms. We call it as we call it as it is the simple definition of digestion. But actual definition of this according to the biology, actual definition of this digestion is here breakdown of by the addition of water in the presence of digestive enzymes, complex food materials. Here these are the complex form of food materials. They are break down into the simple forms. Okay, this process we call it as digestion. Again, I am repeating the definition. Okay, remember it. Listen carefully. Here, by the addition of water in the presence of digestive enzymes, the complex food materials are break down into the simple forms. Complex food materials are break down into simple forms by the addition of water in the presence of digestive enzymes is known as digestion. Okay, by this we came to know what is the definition of digestion. Okay, here the carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and nucleic acid, as all these are present in the complex form, they need to be converted into the simple form. Okay, let us see what are the simple forms of carbohydrates and what are the simple forms of proteins and what are the simple forms of lipids and what are the simple forms of nucleic acids. Let us see. Here the complex form of carbohydrates are known as polysaccharide. Complex form of carbohydrates. Complex form of carbohydrates are known as polysaccharide. Why we are calling it as polysaccharide, complex form of carbohydrates? Because here poly means, the name itself indicates that poly means many and saccharide means sugar molecules. So here the consist of polysaccharide consists of many sugar molecules. So the complex form of carbohydrates is known as polysaccharide. Okay. Next, here as they are present in the complex form, they need to be converted into the simple form, right? So here the polysaccharides, they need to be converted into the disaccharides. Disaccharide means, the name itself indicates this. Di means two and saccharides means two sugar molecules. So first this polysaccharide, it need to be converted into the disaccharide, and finally this disaccharide, it is converted into the monosaccharide. Mono means one, single sugar molecule. So here monosaccharides are the simple form of carbohydrates. Here the example you can say it as glucose. Okay, remaining all the things. In coming classes we will be discussing about all the things of monosaccharides. Okay, here the polysaccharides, here the complex form of carbohydrates are known as polysaccharide. This polysaccharide, they need to be converted into the breakdown into the simple forms. That is, simple form of polysaccharide is monosaccharide. So we came to know that what is the simple form of carbohydrates. Next we will be discussing about simple form of proteins and simple form of lipids and nucleic acids. Simple form of nucleic acids. Okay, here you can see that complex form of proteins. Proteins are present in the complex form. So they need to be break down into the simple form. What is the simple form of proteins means? Amino acids. Proteins are made up of with amino acids. Proteins are made up of with long chain of amino acids. Long chain of amino acids. These amino acids are joined together by the peptide bond. It is the peptide bond. Peptide bond. So because as they are connected with the peptide bond, many amino acids, single molecules of amino acids, they are joined together by using the peptide bond. So we call it as polypeptide chain of amino acids. Proteins are made up of it polypeptide chain of amino acids. So what if the protein is the complex form? What is the simple form of protein? It is the amino acids. Amino acids are the simple form of proteins. Here you must remember about these simple forms. In examination they will be asking about such type of questions. What is the byproduct? What is the product of proteins? And they will be asking what is the simple form of proteins? What is the simple form of carbohydrates? What is the complex form of carbohydrates? Polysaccharides. Simple form, monosaccharides. When coming to proteins, proteins are the complex forms. They need to be converted into the simple form, that is amino acids. Okay, this is about proteins. And next we will discuss about lipids. Lipids. Lipids are otherwise known as fats. These are the complex form. So they need to be converted into the simple form. What are the simple form of this fats or lipids means? It is the fatty acid and plus glycerol. As the lipids are made up of the simple form of fatty acids and glycerol. What is the simple form of lipids? Fatty acid plus glycerol. And next coming to nucleic acids. What are the nucleic acid, different types of nucleic acids that we see in living cell? They are the DNA and RNA. DNA and RNA are the nucleic acids. Okay, if you take any cell, plant cell or animal cell, they consist of nucleus. Inside the nucleus, they consist of nucleic acid. It is the genetic material. These are the DNA and RNA. So here these are present in the complex form. So they need to be converted into the simple form. What is the simple form of nucleic acid? Either DNA or RNA. They are the nitrogen bases plus pentose sugar. Pentose sugar. They consist of 5 sugar molecules and nitrogen bases. Okay, it is about the simple form of nucleic acids. Okay, by this way here the carbohydrates, polysaccharides are converted to monosaccharides, simple forms, and proteins are converted into the amino acids, simple forms, and lipids are converted into the simple forms, that is fatty acid and glycerol, and nucleic acid is converted in, means breakdown into the nitrogen bases and the pentose sugar. So by all these are converted into the simple molecules. So the simple molecules can be absorbed directly by our body cells, and it will be utilizing the all these things, all the simple forms of all these things, components, and it will be producing the energy. And finally this energy is utilized by the organism's body. Okay, to do any kind of work or for the growth and development, they will be utilizing this energy. Okay. And here, as I told that these water, minerals and vitamins, they are the very small molecules, so they can absorb directly by our body cells. Directly it will be producing the energy. Okay. Here we came to know that what is the definition of digestion by this. When coming to different organisms, as there are millions of animals we can see around us. So the millions of organisms or the animals, they will be showing the different types of digestion process. The type digestion is different in different organisms. Okay, next we will discuss about the types of digestion in different organisms. Next topic is about types of digestion. Types of digestion. Mainly we can see 3 different types of digestion. They are the intracellular digestion, and next one is digestion. Next one is intercellular digestion, and finally third one is extracellular digestion. Here, what is intracellular digestion? The name itself indicating that intra means inside. Intra, T-R-A, not inter, it is a E-I-N-T-R-A. Intra means inside the cell. Inside, cellular means cell. The digestion which takes place inside the cell. It is the cell, and the digestion which takes place inside the cell, we call it as intracellular digestion. And next, coming to what is intercellular digestion? Inter means in between the cells. Intercellular means the digestion which takes place in between the cells. These are the cells. In between the cells, the digestion takes place. Inside the cell, it is intracellular digestion. And what is extracellular digestion means? The digestion which takes place outside the cell and in the alimentary canal. Outside the cell, that is in the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal, or as otherwise we can say it as digestive tract. The digestion which takes place in the digestive tract or alimentary canal, or otherwise we can call it as gut also. We will be saying it as gut. Okay, it is about extracellular digestion. Intracellular digestion, intercellular digestion and extracellular digestion. Here, in which organisms we can see intracellular digestion means in unicellular organisms. Why we are seeing only in unicellular organisms? Because here they are made up of with whole organism. Whole organism body is made up of with single cell. Okay, వాటి ఆర్గనైజేషన్ ఎలా అంటే హోల్ బాడీ వచ్చేసి ఒక సింగిల్ సెల్ తోటి మేడప్ అయి ఉంటుంది. సో బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దట్ రీజన్ మనం వీటిని యూనిసెల్యులర్ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ అంటున్నాం. as they are made up of with whole organism body is made up of with single cell. In such type of organisms we can see intracellular digestion, inside the cell. సో ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసి యూనిసెల్యులర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఏముంటాయి? ప్రోటోజోవా. ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ బిలాంగ్స్ టు ద ఫైలం. ఈ డివిజన్ కి ప్రోటోజోవా అనే డివిజన్ ఉంటుంది మనకి యానిమల్ కింగ్డమ్ లో. ఫైలా, ఇట్ ఈస్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫైలా. ఇన్ ద ప్రోటోజోన్ ఫైలా ద ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ విచ్ బిలాంగ్స్ టు ద ఫైలం ప్రోటోజోవా. In such type of organisms we can see this intracellular digestion, as all these are unicellular organisms. And in other unicellular organisms such as amoeba, in amoeba also we can see as it is made up of a single cell, whole organism is made up of. So in such type of organisms we can see it as intracellular digestion. And next one is intercellular digestion. Intercellular means, as I told, that the digestion which takes place in between the cells. So here if we take multicellular organisms, the organisms belongs to the phylum Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, and Nemathelminths. In the all this phyla means, generally first you need to know that what is Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes and Nemathelminths. As the students they belongs to the BTech side or any other groups, they are not belonging to the science group, they don't know what is Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes and Nemathelminths. So because of that reason I will explain something about this, what are these Porifera, Cnidaria and Platyhelminthes and Nemathelminths, so that you will be getting some idea about it. So generally, as there are millions of animals that are present on the earth, so it is very difficult to study about each and every animal, right? ఏంటి మనకి మిలియన్స్ ఆఫ్ యానిమల్స్ ఉంటాయి, ఒక్కొక్క దాని గురించి మనం స్టడీ చేయాలి అంటే చాలా టైం పడుతుంది, మనం చదవలేము. సో బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దట్ రీజన్ హియర్ ద యానిమల్స్ ఆర్ క్లాసిఫైడ్ అండ్ ప్లేస్డ్ ఇన్ 3 డిఫరెంట్ గ్రూప్స్. యానిమల్స్ అనేవి 3 డిఫరెంట్ గ్రూప్స్ గా డివైడ్ చేశారు. దే ఆర్ ద ఇన్వర్టిబ్రేట్స్. ఫస్ట్ వచ్చేసి ఇన్వర్టిబ్రేట్స్. ఇన్వర్టిబ్రేట్స్ అంటే ఏంటి? యానిమల్స్ వితౌట్ వర్టిబ్రల్ కాలమ్. వాళ్ళకి వర్టిబ్రల్ కాలమ్ అనేది యాబ్సెంట్ ఉన్న యానిమల్స్ ని దే ఆర్ ప్లేస్డ్ అండర్ ద డివిజన్ దట్ ఈస్ అండర్ ద గ్రూప్ దట్ ఈస్ ఇన్వర్టిబ్రేట్స్. ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ వితౌట్ ఇన్వర్టిబ్రేట్. సో దేర్ ఆర్ 10 ఇన్వర్టిబ్రేట్ ఫైలస్. అంటే మనకు 10 గ్రూప్స్ ఉన్నాయి, 10 డివిజన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. Okay, here it is the group. Invertebrate is the group. Inside this group it consists of many divisions. Such divisions we are calling it as phyla. ఒక్కొక్క డివిజన్ కి ఒక్కొక్క phyla అనే నేమ్ పెట్టారన్నమాట. So each division we call it as phylum. As invertebrates consist of 10 divisions, means 10 phyla. In that first one is Protozoa, Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Nemathelminths, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata. So all these are the phylums, all these are the divisions belongs to the group invertebrate groups. All these are the invertebrates, means all these organisms belongs to all these divisions in zoology. When coming to zoology, we call these divisions as a phylum. We label them as phylum. We have to call them as phylum, not divisions. So when coming to botany side, you can call them as divisions. So here, based upon the presence or absence of invertebrates, all the animals are classified into different types. They are the invertebrates, means the organisms without vertebral column. And then what are vertebrates? Vertebrates are nothing but they are the with vertebral column. The organism that consists of vertebral column. So we call them as vertebrates. Okay, vertebrates phylums will be different. They are the when coming to here amphibians, reptiles, and vertebrates. All this comes under vertebrates. Reptiles, aves, mammals, birds, all this comes under vertebrates. Here in Protozoa we can see first phylum, that is invertebrate phylum. In Protozoa we can see intracellular digestion, that is the digestion which takes place inside the cell. So here intercellular digestion is seen in organisms belongs to the phylum Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes and Nemathelminthes. Okay, if you have some idea about this line sequence of this phylum, then it will be easy to identify which digestion we can see in which type of organisms. So here in intercellular digestion means it takes place between the cells. Here the Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes and Nemathelminthes, in all the animals or the organisms belongs to all this phylum, they shows intercellular digestion. Okay, for example, if we take the Porifera, and why intercellular digestion is taking place in the organisms belongs to the phylum Porifera, Cnidaria and Platyhelminthes and Nemathelminthes means here when if you take the structure of organisms belongs to the Porifera, mainly the main organism is sponges. The Porifera group, otherwise known as sponges group also. It is phylum sponges or phylum Porifera. So here all the organisms belongs to this phylum. If you take the sponges diagram, structure of the sponges, here it will be like this. Structure will be like this. So here the whole organism, as they are made up of with many cells, as these are the multicellular organisms, as they are made up of with many cells, but here the cells, they do not form tissues. Generally, if you take any human being, suppose if you are taking the human being as the example, they first they consist of the structural function unit of the living organism is cell. Here the cells forms tissues, means all the cells, similar type of cells, they aggregate and they form tissues, and the tissues they form organs, and organs forms organ systems. All the organ systems together we call it as organism. ఏంటి మనకి ప్రతి ఒక్క ఆర్గానిజం వచ్చేసి సెల్స్ తోటి ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట. దే ఆర్ మేడ్ అప్ ఆఫ్ సెల్స్ అండ్ ద సెల్స్ సిమిలర్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ సెల్స్ అనేవి ఒక గ్రూప్ గా చేరి అవి టిష్యూస్ ని ఫార్మ్ చేస్తుంది. అండ్ టిష్యూస్ వచ్చేసి సిమిలర్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ టిష్యూస్ దే అగ్రిగేట్ అండ్ దే ఫార్మ్ ఆర్గాన్స్, అండ్ ద ఆర్గాన్స్ దే అగ్రిగేట్ అండ్ ఫార్మ్ ఆర్గాన్ సిస్టమ్స్, అండ్ ద ఆర్గాన్ సిస్టమ్స్ టుగెదర్ we call it as organism. Okay, if you take human being as one of the organism, they consist of organ systems. What are the organ systems we can see in human being means that the digestive system, respiratory system, excretory, circulatory. Okay, different types of system we will be seeing in human beings. So this is the structure, general structure. But when coming to the organisms belongs to this Porifera or Cnidaria or Platyhelminthes, in that first we will be discussing about Porifera, right? So here they are made up of with many cells. As they are made up of with cells, but these cells they do not form tissues because the cells are arranged loosely. They do not form tissues. It's sponges. So as they are made up of with many cells, as these are the multicellular organisms, but the cells they do not form tissues. Only the cells are arranged loosely. So this type of organization we call it as cellular level of organization. Means the cells they do not form tissues, just it will be having only cellular level. So we call it as cellular level of organization. In which type of organisms we can see cellular level of organization means organisms belongs to the phylum Porifera, or otherwise we call it as sponges. So here as the cells are arranged loosely, so here they do not form tissues. So the digestion which takes place in between the cells, the digestion is taking place. So we call it as intercellular digestion. Okay, when coming to Cnidaria, in Cnidaria group of organisms also we can see intercellular digestion. In Cnidaria and Platyhelminthes, Cnidaria shows tissue level of organization. Means here the cells they forms tissues. Cells they aggregate and they forms tissues in Cnidaria group. Cnidaria phylum, organisms belongs to the phylum Cnidaria. They show tissue level of organization, means tissue is formed. As the tissue is formed, here also the digestion takes place in between the cell. When coming to Platyhelminthes and Nemathelminthes, they shows organ level of organization, means they will be forming the organs. So here they shows organ level of organization. Cnidaria, we can see this intercellular digestion in sponges, cnidaria and platyhelminthes and nemathelminthes. So it is about intercellular digestion. Okay, next what is extracellular digestion? This extracellular digestion is mainly seen in vertebrates. Okay, from here invertebrates from the Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata and Hemichordata. In all these groups we can see extracellular digestion. Here we can see extracellular digestion in Annelida. As they are forming the organ system level of organization, they are showing the organ systems. Means here Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata and Hemichordata, they consist of different types of organ systems. They consist of digestive systems, excretory system and circulatory system. So because of that reason, here they shows extracellular digestion. Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata and Hemichordata. All these are the invertebrates groups. All these are the invertebrates. And when coming to vertebrates also, in vertebrates also we can see all the system, digestive system. So in vertebrates that is amphibians, reptiles, aves, mammals. Okay, all these are the vertebrates also they shows extracellular digestion. Okay, amphibians వచ్చేసి మనకి ఏంటి అనేది డౌట్ ఉంటుంది సైన్స్ అంటే the students belongs to the other groups they will be getting some doubt about what is reptiles and what is aves and what is mammals. Okay, here just I will use some small introduction regarding the here vertebrates. Here the vertebrates group it includes many phylum. Okay, here amphibians or examples are frogs. Frogs ఉంటాయి కదా అవి amphibians కిందకి వస్తాయి. They will be coming under amphibians. And next reptiles. Reptiles means the snakes, lizards, all this comes under reptiles. Okay, the which are having the tail, the organisms which are having the tail, they comes under reptiles. And next one is aves. Aves are nothing but birds. All the birds they comes under aves. And mammals are nothing but mammals are monkeys and human beings. All this comes under mammals. Okay, in reptiles we can see only snakes, lizards, all these things. Okay, this is about the types of digestion. Okay, next we came to know that what is the definition of digestion and what are the types of digestion you can see in different types of organisms. And next we will be discussing about the absorption. As I told that what is digestive system? The system in which where the process of digestion and the absorption and the assimilation takes place. Such type of system we are calling it as digestive system. Right? So here the first we have discussed about the definition of digestion. And next we will be discussing about absorption. Generally here the food is digested. By the process of digestion food is converted, means it undergoes the breakdown. So breakdown of food we call it as digestion. After the digestion of food materials, the digested food materials, here if you take the alimentary canal is nothing but it is the digestive tract where the process of digestion takes place. After the food is digested food, it is present in the alimentary canal. So it is the walls of the alimentary canal. ఇవి వచ్చేసి మనకి ఎలిమెంటరీ కెనాల్ యొక్క గోడలు, walls. These are the walls of the alimentary canal. Inside this wall it consists of circulatory system, means it consists of veins and arteries. Means here it is the blood, it consists of blood. So the digested food which is absorbed, intake of digested food materials from the alimentary canal wall to the blood. As the food is digested, the digested food enters into the blood. So this process means absorption of food materials, digested food materials into the blood, means into the circulatory system, we call it as absorption. Generally in the alimentary canal digestion process occurs. Here the food materials are digested and these food materials they need to be absorbed into the blood. So here intaking or the absorption of digested food materials into the blood, this process we call it as absorption. And then here we are calling next type is assimilation. What is assimilation? Here it is assimilation is nothing but here as the digested food materials are absorbed into the blood. So from the blood it should be distributed to the all other parts of the body. So they need to be distributed to different body cells. Here the distribution of food materials from the blood to the different body cells, we call this process as assimilation. Digested food from the blood, it enters, it is distributed to all other body cells. So we call it as, this process we call it as assimilation. Okay, by this we came to know that what is digestion, what is absorption and what is assimilation. Okay, next we will be discussing about human digestive system. What are the different parts are involved in human digestive system? Let us discuss about it. Parts of human digestive system. Generally, the human digestive system consists of mainly two parts. They are the alimentary canal and digestive glands. Human digestive system. Next one is human digestive system. Okay, here I will draw the picture related to that. Parts of human digestive system. Okay, here the human digestive system consists of mainly, it is divided into two parts. They are the alimentary canal. This alimentary canal is otherwise known as digestive tract or otherwise known as gastrointestinal tract, or otherwise we can call it as gut also. So all these are the different names of alimentary canal. Generally the human digestive system consists of two parts. In the first part is alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is nothing but it is the long tube that is extending from the mouth to the anus. Here I will draw this. Okay, it is the alimentary canal. Starts with the mouth, it is the mouth. Anteriorly it starts with mouth and posteriorly it ends with the anus. It is the anus. It is the alimentary canal. It is about 8 to 10 meters. It is about 8 to 10 meters in length. Here the buccal cavity, pharynx, and next one part is esophagus, and next part is stomach, and next part is small intestine, and next part is large intestine. Okay, as it is the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is the long extending tube-like structure. It is about 8 to 10 meters in length, and it anteriorly it begins with the mouth and posteriorly it ends with the anus. So down part we call it as posterior part and upper part we call it as anterior part. Okay, it is about the alimentary canal. This alimentary canal consists of different parts. In that the first part is the mouth and second part is the buccal cavity. We call this cavity inside this. Inside this is the mouth and inside this we call the large space we call it as buccal cavity. And next part inside the buccal cavity you can see here the pharynx part. It is the pharynx. We call this part as the pharynx. So the students belongs to other groups except the science groups. Other groups please listen it perfectly. So you will be getting clear idea about that. So because you are not having the idea about all these things. So for biology students they will be knowing all these things. Mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, and next part is this part we call it as esophagus. Esophagus, O-E-S-O Phages, esophagus. And next part is stomach. This is the stomach. It is a bag-like structure. So it is the stomach, and here you can see this part, small intestine. It is the small intestine. Small intestine. Chinna pegulu antaru kada, small intestine. And here these are the, all these things. These are the large intestine. Large intestine. These are the parts of the alimentary canal. As I told that the human digestive system is divided and consists of two main parts. They are the alimentary canal. Here the alimentary canal is it is a long extending tube that extends from the mouth to posterior anus, and here it is about 8 to 10 meters in length. Okay, next part is about digestive glands. Generally, here the digestive glands, they releases the digestive juice, and inside the digestive juice we will be seeing the digestive juice is having the digestive enzymes. These digestive enzymes are useful for the digestion process. They will be breakdowning the complex food materials into the simple form of food materials. Okay, here next part, first part is alimentary canal and next part is digestive glands. These digestive glands are of two types. Digestive glands are of, in human beings, the digestive system, they consist of two types of digestive glands. They are, the first one is associated glands. Associated glands. We can otherwise say it as accessory glands. Associated glands and non-associated glands. Non-associated glands. Here, what are associated glands and what are non-associated glands? What is the main definition of associated glands and non-associated glands means? Here, associated. What is associated? In general English, we can say it as attached. Okay, the glands that are attached to the alimentary canal. Okay, they are present outside. This is the alimentary canal, right? This is the alimentary canal. The glands that are present outside the alimentary canal. This is the alimentary canal. It is the buccal cavity. Here you will be having the ear pinna. Okay. Here you will be having the salivary glands. Salivary glands. And here they are present outside the alimentary canal. Associated glands with the glands that are present outside the alimentary canal, and they are attached to the alimentary canal. So such type of glands we call them as associated glands. And what are the different types of associated glands that are present in the digestive system of human beings means? The associated glands are of three types. They are the salivary glands. Salivary glands, they are present in the buccal cavity. This is the buccal cavity. Okay, here they will be connecting to here. You can see that here below the ear pinna we can see salivary gland. There are three types of salivary glands. They are the parotid glands. They are present below. Okay, in coming classes I will explain detail about the salivary glands, no problem. They are present in the buccal cavity area. They are the salivary glands. And next type of associated gland is liver. And next type is pancreas. Why we are calling them as associated means they are present outside the alimentary canal and they are attached to the alimentary canal. So we are calling them as associated glands. Here we came to know that where the salivary glands are present. They are present near the buccal cavity. And where to this liver and pancreas are present? Okay, here I will clearly explain about this. Here buccal cavity associated salivary glands are present. It is the pharynx, esophagus, and it is the stomach. It is the small intestine. Okay, here in the buccal cavity region, we can see the salivary glands. They are present outside the buccal cavity and they are attached to the alimentary canal. They are attached to the buccal cavity by the small veins, tube-like structure. Here, it is the stomach is present. Where do the stomach is present? It is present towards the left side. Okay, where do the stomach is present mean? Generally, if you take the organisms, human being body, they consist of four types of cavities. They consist of four cavities. Here it is the here the human being organism's body, if we take, they consist of 4 types of cavities. Here it is the buccal cavity. And next cavity here where the heart and lungs are present. Heart and lungs are present. This cavity we call it as thoracic cavity. Thoracic cavity. Buccal cavity, and here this part we call it as thoracic cavity, whereas it otherwise we call it as chest cavity also, thoracic cavity. And next cavity here, after the thoracic cavity, here you can see some inverted like structure. So here it is the diaphragm. Diaphragm. We call it as diaphragm. And next, after the thoracic cavity, below the diaphragm, you can see here we call it as abdominal cavity. Abdominal cavity. Where the stomach is present, we call that cavity as an abdominal cavity. Okay, here in the abdominal cavity, towards the right side, here, towards the left side, here the stomach is present. Stomach is present below the diaphragm in the abdominal cavity towards the left side. When coming to right side, here the liver is present. Liver is present in the abdominal cavity below the diaphragm part, and here it is present in the abdominal cavity. Where the liver is present, it is present in the abdominal cavity towards the right side, just below the diaphragm. Abdominal cavity lo right side ki diaphragm ki kinda untundannమాట. So it is about abdominal cavity. And next cavity here, you can see that it is the pelvic region or pelvic cavity. We call this region as the pelvic region or pelvic cavity or pelvic region. Okay, in pelvic region, reproductive organs are present. In abdominal cavity, what are present means digestive parts are present. And next, in the thoracic cavity or chest cavity, lungs and the heart is present. When coming to buccal cavity, here it belongs to the digestive system. These are the different types of cavities we can see in the human being's organism's body. So here by this we came to know that where the liver is present. Stomach is present towards the left side in the abdominal cavity just below the diaphragm. Okay, a small inverted part. It is the bone-like structure which differentiates the thoracic cavity with the abdominal cavity. So we call it as diaphragm. And here the liver is present towards the right side, just below the diaphragm in the abdominal region, abdominal cavity. Okay, here the liver is present outside the alimentary canal and they are attached to the alimentary canal, so we call it as associated glands. Associated glands are salivary glands, liver, and next one is pancreas. Where do the pancreas are present means here you can see the structure. The stomach opens into the small intestine. First part of the small intestine, it is the duodenum. Duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. The stomach opens into the first part of the small intestine. We call it as duodenum. Okay, here the duodenum consists of U-shaped structure, or we can say it as C-shaped structure. Here you can see the pancreas. Here pancreas are present. Pancreas are present in between the U-shaped limbs of duodenum. U-shaped limbs of duodenum. Duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. Okay, it is about associated glands. And next one is non-associated glands. Non-associated glands are nothing but the glands which are present inside the alimentary canal. They are present within the walls of the alimentary canal, so we call them as non-associated glands. Non-associated glands means they are not present outside the alimentary canal. They are present within the alimentary canal. Okay, in the walls of the alimentary canal, we can see non-associated glands. And what are the types of non-associated glands we can see in human beings means They are the gastric glands and intestinal glands. Gastric glands and intestinal glands. Gastric glands and intestinal glands. Where do the gastric glands are present? They are present inside the walls of the stomach. Okay, here in the stomach, in the walls of the stomach wall, we can see these gastric glands. And where do the intestinal glands are present with? They are present in the walls of the intestine. Okay, in the small intestine, not large intestine. In the walls of the small intestine, we can see intestinal glands. Okay, this is about the overall introduction regarding this alimentary canal and digestive system, human digestive system. Okay, once again I will repeat this so that you will be getting a clear idea. Generally, human digestive system it consists of two parts. They are the alimentary canal and the digestive glands. Alimentary canal, it is a long tube-like structure which begins with the mouth, anterior mouth, and ends with the posterior anus, and it is about 8 to 10 meters in length. It is the alimentary canal. Buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus. Next, here you will be having the stomach, small intestine, and it is the large intestine. It is the anus. Okay, here alimentary canal, it begins with anterior mouth and ends with the posterior anus. And this alimentary canal, it is about 8 to 10 meters in length. Okay, the alimentary canal consists of different parts. The first part is mouth, and next part is buccal cavity, and next part is pharynx. This buccal cavity opens into the pharynx, and pharynx opens into esophagus, and this esophagus enters into the stomach, and this stomach leads into small intestine. And here the small intestine, it opens into the large intestine. Okay, this is the overall view of alimentary canal. And next, coming to digestive glands. Here the digestive glands are of two types. They are the associated glands and non-associated glands. Non-associated glands. Here associated glands is the glands that are present outside the alimentary canal and they are attached to the alimentary canal. The glands which are attached to the alimentary canal, we call it as associated glands. Here the associated glands examples are salivary glands. They are present in the buccal cavity, and liver and pancreas. All these are the associated glands. Where the salivary glands are present, they are present in the near the buccal cavity. They open into the buccal cavity. They are present near the buccal cavity and they open into the buccal cavity. And liver is present in the abdominal region towards the right side, means it side, this one, this side, below the abdominal cavity. In the abdominal cavity, just below the diaphragm, we can see this liver. Okay, where the pancreas are present means they are present in between the leaves of U-shaped duodenum. Okay, the stomach opens into the next part. That is the small intestine part. Here the small intestine first part is duodenum. So in between these limbs of duodenum, here the pancreas are located. Whether they are located towards the right side or left side, they are located towards the left side. Below the stomach, you can see this pancreas. And next one is non-associated glands. Non-associated glands means the glands that are not present outside the alimentary canal, but they are present within the walls of the alimentary canal. Means if you take here the examples are non-associated means they are not attached to the alimentary canal. They are present within the alimentary canal. What are the examples of non-associated glands in human beings means? In human digestive system is gastric glands and intestinal glands. Gastric glands and intestinal glands. Where do the gastric glands are present? They are present within the walls of the stomach. And where the intestinal glands are located? They are present within the walls of the small intestine. So it is about the overall view of general introduction regarding the digestive system, human digestive system. Okay, in next class we will be discussing about each and every part, what is mouth and what is the buccal cavity and pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. Next class I will be explaining about all these things. So it is a demo class. If you are any one of you are interested to join TS etc classes, so please contact our number 9676 54190. Thank you.